Hi. I've been doing a lot of thinking, about generally what I tend to watch, and I find that I watch quite a lot of anime. I was thinking about why. Like, why do I watch anime? What do I enjoy about anime? What do I typically like in a lot of the animes that I watch? I wouldn't call myself a fanatic. I haven't seen that many. I don't have a huge bundle of them that I've seen. I don't know the names of many of the obscure ones or the underrated ones. Pretty familiar with the mainstream ones, but most people are. But I've realized, even in a lot of the mainstream ones, there's a lot to like. For example, Naruto. There's a lot to like about the series, I find, and been one that's been very long going. It's a very, very well known anime and manga. It's unlikely you haven't heard of it, even if you don't watch anime or read manga. And it now even has a successor, Boruto, who is Naruto's son. Spoiler alert. Sorry. What I really liked about the show, though, is although it has its faults, is that ultimately Naruto, it is the tale of an underdog. This we're talking about someone who has no skills. He isn't a good ninja at all. He doesn't have anything going for him. The girl he likes doesn't like him back. Not a lot going on, but he's tenacious. He's hardworking. He's determined. He doesn't let his resentment build up inside. He doesn't let like that hatred that anyone would have in his position be his fuel. Rather, he just wants to be acknowledged. That's his fuel, to actually be accepted by everyone and to become their leader, to become the Hokage. And so it's great seeing that kind of story, how he rises up, how he becomes stronger, and seeing how he deals with all these challenges and everything. And also, I really like the other characters that you see in the show. Like, I'm a big fan of Sasuke. My favorite character in the entire series, and one of my favorite anime characters ever, is Itachi. Sasuke's brother. Of course, we can't forget Kakashi either. Kakashi is a great character. Now, I can understand why many people wouldn't like Naruto as well. It does have its faults, like anything does, and particularly the last arc of the show, the fourth Great Ninja War arc, I would say very flawed. Not the best one. Overall, though, I still really liked it. But even if you look at the ones that aren't as mainstream, you see a lot of qualities to enjoy about these shows. And that's kind of what I like about anime, is that there's just so much variety in them. For pretty much any topic, you will find an anime or a manga for that topic. Ultimately, for me, one of the biggest factors with anime is the artistry behind it. It's so artistic. Like, I love seeing the different art styles that many animes and mangas employ. I think it's you see some real creativity within the genre as a whole. Within the visual styles that you see, there's a lot of artistry that can be drawn there, and it's great to see. And it's something that isn't always as easy to capture in other art mediums, like typical TV shows and movies. And you see the same with the way music and sound is employed in animes as well. A lot of these, for pretty much any anime, the soundtrack is just as integral a part of the anime as the drawing style or as the voice acting. That's another thing that is really good with anime. The voice acting is top notch. Sometimes English dubs, like many would say, don't really hold a candle to the original Japanese dubs, which is why many people will just watch it in Japanese with English or whatever subtitles they require. Now, of course, so we can't just discuss the advantages and the good points of animes. There's downsides to them as well. Often, one of the biggest criticisms from anime watchers and non-watchers alike is the portrayal of particularly female characters, but it happens with male characters as well, in that they are overly sexualized, and there's a lot of fan service, and it can be definitely be annoying when you have animes and mangas that don't do this as much. Like Attack on Titan, for example, a good example of having characters that are not ridiculously over sexualized, and there's no constant fan service. Thank you, appreciate that. Another disadvantage, or rather, I suppose, another opinion people have to dislike anime is, for me, one of the advantages of it, in that it can be very, I suppose, overly dramatic, it can be very intense. Some people don't like that. Some people, they find it hard to engage in something that is so over the top, and I can get that. And sometimes it's fun to make fun of animes for this as well. When you have characters, they're just kind of kids, but they're so emotional, and their lives seem so intense. I can understand why it is kind of funny when you just talk about it. Your Lie in April, for example, brilliant anime. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. You're talking about like 14-year-old kids, that are incredibly in tune with their own emotions, and the way they go on these monologues describing like how they feel and what like the stars look like to them and all this stuff is it's pretty intense stuff. So I can definitely understand why for some people that's just like, no, I can't really get into this, it's too ridiculous. So that's fair enough. What I love is we now have animes that make fun of this, of the typical anime tropes like that. You know, like One Punch Man, for example. Even if you're not an anime fan, I highly recommend One Punch Man. It's fantastic. It's the perfect satire, basically, of anime. It captures every stereotypical anime trope and like character, and it depicts them in a way that's just fantastic. The main thing to realize about any entertainment medium is that it's there to entertain you. That's the whole point. Not everyone will be into anime or manga, and that's fine. But I think it's important to have that variety in these different art forms, in different types of entertainment. And I certainly hope that we see more and more original, fantastic, beautiful anime and manga stories and characters. And I hope it's an art form that just continues to grow and continues to inspire and continues to entertain. It's certainly something that I want to continue watching. Ultimately, it's a very powerful art form and it's a very enjoyable art form, and it's one that I personally have a lot of respect and enjoyment for. Feel free to let me know your own feelings on anime and manga in the comments, and what some of your favorites are, and what are the reasons that you enjoy watching it, or what are the reasons that you don't enjoy watching it. Thank you for watching. Bye.